Welcome to That 80s Show, and if you're listening to this, you've probably lived in 5 different decades at least.
Yes, for me it's 6.
So for some people it'll be 6. I think after that it's kind of like, do better things, guys. I mean, you're wiser. You're wiser than to be listening to this at that point. Dori, now it's hot, okay? Where Johannesburg is just unpleasant summer, very unpleasant summer.
We are supposed to be going into autumn.
No.
Someone did not get the memo.
It's not been a nice breezy sit outside, enjoy the warm weather summer. It's like be indoors at all times summer. You were fanning yourself with what I imagine a little My Fair Lady hand fan, and
I mean, kinda. It's got flowers on it, so yes.
How vigorous was your fanning?
I was fanning as vigorously as I can at my age.
Yes, 1,000 times vigorously fanning. The vigorously fanning Dori. We come to you, That 80s Show, the safe space on the internet for all your 80s engagement.
I was just thinking it gives a new spin on the word fangirling.
Well, there you go. There you go. We're fans of many things on That 80s Show. And I was duped. I think we're all duped, those of us who love the 80s. A few weeks ago, an image starts going around of possibly the most 80s man ever. You would have seen this. I shared this with you, Dori.
You sent it to me with zero context, and my immediate thought was, is this a relative of yours?
So at the time, there was no context.
Yeah.
So at the time, there was no context. What the image was is an image started floating around of a man, very 80s looking, burly gent, fantastic mullet, beautiful curly mullet, the best mullets. I mean, so I think you get the brush cut mullet with the shaved on the sides long. That's kind of like a trashy mullet. This dude's mullet, which is the curly mullet all over, fantastic.
Yeah.
Beautiful mustache. Smoking. He's got I just saw another clue, right? So he's got a denim kind of jacket over his white t-shirt, all open, beautiful chest fro, luscious chest fro. He's in a McDonald's smoking a cigarette. So
very, very 80s, because you smoked everywhere in the 80s. Very 80s.
This is what people are saying. When this photo starts going around, it starts going, can you believe the 80s? Not only is this guy super 80s, he's smoking in a McDonald's. How times have changed. Remember, airplanes had an ashtray in the armrest.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we used to fly overseas in the 80s, early 90s, and people would smoke the whole flight. You get off that flight and think about how gross you feel after an international flight as it is. And
it's actually amazing because there were children in there. It was a confined space, no real ventilation.
No.
That is one change from the 80s that I think was okay to make.
Yeah, it's very weird that just the amount of smoking. So this photo goes around and everyone's like, wow, 80s. So I start sharing it. I go, wow, this man is so 80s. I cannot believe a man this 80s ever existed. If you want to see the photo, we've put it on That 80s Show SA Facebook page. If you came to the show through our Facebook post, it would have been the cover image. It would have been the image that goes along with the Facebook post. I may even, it's such an outrageous story, I may even use it as the album artwork for this particular episode. So I was like, I mean, I would.
Can you?
Of course.
Can you?
Though? Well,
legally,
when you hear the story. So
okay.
I'm going, this man is so 80s. There's no way he exists. And like you say, we start going, well, it kind of looks like this guy and it kind of looks like this guy. He's so 80s, the most 80s man to never have existed, because the image, you won't believe it until you see it, is AI generated. That is not a real photo. It's even got the grain.
Wait, I'm counting his fingers. 1, 2.
That's what threw people off. Because even if you look at the kind of grain of the photo, it looks Polaroid-ish.
It looks old.
Yeah.
It looks like, that 80s filter.
So or basically just called 80s and age.
Right.
Right. But this is what happens. So people start going, but hold on a second. And that's always the thing that puts you on AI is the fingers. They never get the fingers right. So sleuths, online sleuths, start looking at this. And you do look at his hands and his fingers, Dori, because first thing you notice when you look at his fingers, they are ridiculously long.
They are.
Outrageously long.
And his hand doesn't have a shape. It's like one long thing.
That's the thing. You know,
his hand doesn't go to a wrist.
You know, cartoonists, you know, most cartoons only have 4 fingers.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to draw 5.
Well, I think that the 5th one is behind the burger.
Could be, but either way. But that's now you've zoomed in, you start noticing discrepancies. Firstly, the burger looks weird. It's 2-piece burgers.
Yeah, it does look like 2 burgers in one thing.
Then draw your
Now
attention,
that you pointed out.
Dori, to the Coca-Cola cup, in air quotes.
That doesn't say Coca-Cola.
No, but it looks like Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, at a glance.
Exactly. And that's what we look at. We just look at a glance. And also, if you look at the McDonald's sign above his head, actually doesn't say McDonald's. It's some gibberish.
No, it says Modly Done something.
Right. So...
And what about the guy behind him?
Before we get to the guy behind him, I also want you to look at his T-shirt. Because if you look, his shirt's open, but he's got a T-shirt. How's his T-shirt open?
Oh my God, you're right. He's got like the bare chest, but then there's, well, I mean, unless that was the style, right?
That you had
the
T-shirt sleeves, yes.
The sleeves are sewn to the denim sleeveless jacket.
Could be that.
And then there's nothing. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the 80s to make this item of clothing.
You're quite right. No. And then...
So when we get to my movie, we're going to talk about 80s clothing.
Oh, I cannot wait. Because my movie also features 80s clothing very predominantly.
I laugh we have the same movie.
Never.
I laugh. We won't.
Never
again.
Never again. Never again.
Yeah.
And then the only other person that you can make out in this photo is a guy vaguely in the background, which we laugh at because just at a glance you go, this guy looks so trashed and drunk. Until you look at him, you go, he's an amorphous blob. That's his
hand's facing the wrong way.
His arm comes out of his stomach. He's got his hat doesn't make any sense.
His hat is very weird, yeah.
But I think what it does, Dori, so this man doesn't exist, fantastically 80s photo. I'm glad because if this man did exist in the 80s, like they would have just stopped the 80s. They're just gone, no, like you're not going to get more 80s than this guy.
You know this is going to be a popular Halloween costume this year.
Yes, good. Me.
I know you're already making it. I know you are.
I just need some long fingers.
You have to have the fake hand.
And but it
and the weird Coca-Cola cup.
But listen, it could be a Russian Coca-Cola. It looks very Russian. So it actually reminds me of the story. In countries where McDonald's wasn't, there were so many businesses that opened up kind of McDonald's. Because I remember when South Africa had a McDonald's in the city, MAC Donald's, and kind of copied everything. And he had got super sued when McDonald's came into the country. But so it looks kind of like, oh, I'm trying to be McDonald's, kind of like the restaurant that the father owns in Coming to America.
Yes,
yes, kind of like that. But what it does about AI, because then it reminds people of going, remember one of the first AI photos that really duped us was the Pope in the big puffer jacket?
Yeah,
and you're going, that doesn't look real, but it's real enough to be true, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just in Siberia.
I'm just looking at this picture again, like now that you've pointed all these things out. The girl sitting next to him, you can only see a tiny sliver of her, but it looks like she's not wearing any clothes now that you look at it.
That's actually true. That's actually true.
Yeah.
But it just shows that now, obviously, this goes around on X, right? And when we're looking at something on a phone screen and you're just glancing through, we were all duped by it. It just shows you how easily you can be duped, Dori.
Yeah. I know. We didn't look at the detail like we're looking at it now.
No, but we were suspicious. I was very suspicious that such a man could have existed. It's almost like too perfectly 80s. Although I did go to a quiz evening and some of the guys were dressed up and one of the guys was dressed very, very similar to this guy. Very similar jacket.
I believe that. I do believe that.
Had T-shirts.
I mean,
very similar.
We would not be surprised if we saw this man today in Boksburg.
No, not at all. At the George Michael Pawn Shop.
Exactly.
Pawn. You're a lot more cultured than me.
I can't even argue with that. Yes.
No, it's true. This is a true story. I'm not into art, but I think, because I'm not cultured, not that art's boring or bad, it's just I'm a Neanderthal. But I finally found an art installation I think I could get behind. Right? So
Yeah.
I take you to the land of Down Under. Right?
Right.
Where
The South.
where women moan and men plunder, I think it goes.
Is it?
I said, "Sir, would you like to
Moan?
fight me?"
Is that the lyric? Woman moan.
I don't know. Well, that's my lyric.
Wow. I wonder if that's the actual lyric. I've never really thought of it.
I know they say chanda. I know men chanda. I think men
I'm
plunder.
looking it up now. Like
You do that. So, of
hold
course, we're
on.
talking about the 80s song, Down Under.
And Down Under.
And
by
Down
Men at
Under
Work.
by Men at Work. I know men chanda. I think men plunder. I'm not sure if women moan. It was the 80s.
That would be kind of rude if that's the lyric,
It
actually.
was the 80s. I know there's mussels from Brussels in there. I know there's a Vegemite sandwich. I know there's chundering, there's plundering. And, if that's not a travelogue to go to Australia, I'd be like, I want all of that. I want all of that, and I'll go to Australia. But,
Moaning woman, really?
well, you know why they're moaning.
Okay.
Let's go down to Melbourne. A guy called Callum Preston. I want you to open the link. This will be that 80 Show SA Facebook page. In Melbourne CBD, he has opened an art installation that is a painstaking, loving recreation of a 1980s, border 90s video shop. He has...
That is so cool.
It is phenomenal, Dori. There's obviously the cover image, and the first thing you notice in the background, not an 80s movie. So let's scroll down to one of the shots.
I do notice that. Okay.
Look at
Jeez, three not 80s movies in the background. Just
Yes,
say.
but when you go further down,
Right.
under the new releases. So here is an image and describe it. Describe what we're seeing, Dori.
So it says new releases in neon. And underneath, at the top of the wall, above the shelves with the video cassette tapes, you see Tom Hanks, Big, Weekend at Bernie's 2, not Weekend at Bernie's 1. Crocodile Dundee.
Of course.
Wow, I'm going to be in trouble because I can't see what that other one is, but it looks like Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman, the poster for Teen Wolf 2.
Oh, God. Okay, so Teen Wolf 2. Then there's Jumanji and Batman Returns.
Yeah.
I think those are 90s.
Those are both 90s. But anyway,
Yeah.
the first three are 80s. Dori, let's talk about the carpet for a little bit.
Oh, my God. I want it.
It is fantastically plush. It's neon.
It's so 80s.
It's imagine an 80s carpet and then paint more 80s on it, right?
And it says Videoland, which is the name of the thing, but like in the most 80s style.
Yeah, fantastic
Yeah.
80s font, red walls. I mean, they even recreate the stands that the video stores used to have,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I mean, he's got family, he's got comedy, he's got foreign films, sci-fi, thrillers, all the video cassettes. So how he explains it, it's a art installation called 7 installations called Joy. He's decided to make a video store. He spent a lot of time in video stores, even working at one. And he
Yeah.
says, back in the time of video stores, that's what we love. That's why people love the show. Time moved slower. Nobody seemed to care about losing an hour just walking up and down the same aisles. It's like, that's right. We used to go in a video store. Like now, you get irritated. Like you go in Netflix, one movie, this is boring. Next movie. I can't. Where you'd go to a video store and just walk up and down the aisles. What's this? Let me read that. Oh, this one's got boobs. Wow. Gremlins 7. I didn't know they made that. You know, we did that for hours. Going to a video store was an experience. You know?
Yeah.
Even to the point. So this is how he's put so many details in it. Scuff marks on the stands. Exposed elements and imperfections in the painting. Fake dead bugs, busted light bulbs, and bad lighting. Right?
Yeah.
I want to know though. Video stores had a very specific smell. Because if that carpet smells new, it's ruined for me. It needs to smell musty of the cigarette smoke of the staff has embedded itself.
Definitely cigarette smoke.
It has to have. And the actual cassette boxes had a remember that smell they had?
Yes.
And the vinyl wrap that was over it, like the plastic cover that was over it, had sometimes smelled like the people who hide it before you use dinner. Their greasy fingers were still on it.
You're not selling this as a good thing, by the way.
No, it's authentic. Like, we didn't know it was a bad thing then. It was just, that's what video stores were like.
Yeah.
All right. So, closing off, final words from Callum Preston. Like every rental store's collection, the library is incomplete. He did that on purpose. He didn't want to have every movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can't.
His response is, when people say, hey, you don't have a copy of such and such, I tell them that it's out. Someone rented it.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Whatever you wanted was always out. Then you could book it.
Oh,
do you remember? You wrote in a little book with a pen.
Yeah.
And you booked it with the date and your phone number, your landline number, and the date you wanted it.
And you sat at home waiting for them to phone you.
But if you you had to go and collect it by a certain time, or else somebody else could have it.
They give it back out. And you know what?
And if the person before hadn't brought it back, that was not nice.
Yeah, and the video store's like, oh, we're going to find them. It's like, yeah, I don't have a video.
Yeah, I don't get to watch Back to the Future tonight. Thanks, inconsiderate person.
What am I supposed to do? Watch Nistak? This is not a life. I don't want to watch Nistak.
So I've got the lyrics for Down Under.
Do women moan?
No, they glow.
Oh, after they moaned. Yeah, I knew they were related.
I mean, they glow. Like what? Are they radioactive?
No, because they're lovely. They're just lovely.
I know.
Lovely Sheilas.
I don't think so. But okay. At least they don't moan. I was beginning to think that Colin was a little bit of a misogynist there.
Yeah, that's me.
But he's not, so we will forgive him.
That's on me.
That is on you. You're the misogynist.
So do men plunder?
They do plunder.
Chanda?
Can't you hear the thunder?
Thunder, good.
Yeah.
Vegemite sandwiches in there.
It is.
And I know Muscles of Brussels is in there.
Do you know that the first line is traveling in a fried out combi?
Lovely. Great lyric.
That's a very South African lyric.
It could be, what was that day? David Kramer. Remember he had the red combi drive around.
Buying bread from a man in Brussels. He was 6'4" and full of muscle.
See, I knew it.
He said, do you speak my language? And he just smiled. I said, do you speak my language? He just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. That is a very famous line.
And so that's what we'd very inappropriately sing when we go to video store.
I've never been to Australia, but if I do, I will probably play this song.
Oh, yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah.
And kind of go, that's not a knife, this is a knife. You just have to do it. Like,
oh my God.
just apologize. Apologize.
Imagine the eye rolls you'll get. Like, oh, no one's ever done that before.
No, yeah.
Ever.
But you say, but this is my first time here, so up yours. As if I didn't need more of a reason to love Legos, right? So what Legos do every now and again is they have an idea intake run, okay? So they put it out to the public, a challenge, and saying like, okay, we want your ideas for Lego sets, okay? Commission the fans. If you select the set, you don't get royalties from the sets forever, but you get paid. And they go, love it. We love your set, love the idea, and fantastic, right? So they put it out every now and again, ideas for sets. And the latest challenge is called If We Could Turn Back Time. We're talking leg warmers and big hair. This challenge is all about the 80s. Regardless of if you're around in the 80s or not, so many iconic TV shows and films from that era, right?
Yeah.
So we want your submissions to celebrate the shows and the films using Lego bricks. Must be a retro show or film, a cult classic, something from your childhood.
Yeah.
Okay, but it can't be something that is already part of their IP, right? So they specifically named can't be like Indiana Jones, Seinfeld, which did start in the 80s, Tron, certain Star Wars. So they've said, okay, or Simpsons. So I said, okay, certain things already IP, got to be completely new IP.
So hang on, these things on the screen in front of me, those already exist.
No, these are all the submissions. This is how good. So are you looking at the picture with Back to the Future?
Yes.
Yeah. So, sorry, this is what you win. So if they select your idea, you're going to win a Tron Legacy set, the car. You're going to win a Back to the Future DeLorean Lego, and you're going to win a Seinfeld apartment set, right? That's what you win.
I love the Seinfeld apartment set.
Have you seen it?
I want it. No, I didn't know this thing existed.
The George Costanza's the best. His little hair.
God.
His little hair is outstanding.
I did not know. I can see it. It looks amazing. I did not know this existed.
Oh yeah, get yourself into the Lego store. They've got them.
I know, but I get sad because I can't afford anything in there.
No one can afford anything in the Lego store, Dori. You want to talk museum? I have never seen anybody buy anything from a Lego store. They look at the Lego, they go, this is super expensive. I'm buying from Takealot. Okay. No one buys from Lego store. You cannot. But
it's not going to a museum. I hear you. I hear you.
Right.
So you've probably already got a list of submissions.
I want you to scroll down to the bottom of the page of people, what they've already submitted.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. So the first one there is a mock patrol, which is from Robotech, right? It's a Robotech inspired. The next one is a Little House on the Prairie playset. That is the next submission.
I mean, it's a bit 70s, but cool.
But enough. A Labyrinth playset, Dori. Even with a little minifigure David Bowie as the Lizard King. Was he the Lizard King in Labyrinth?
Yes.
He was a Lizard King. There's a Red Dwarf playset. I wasn't big on Red Dwarf. It was more of a British thing. I wasn't nuts about it. A Walton's playset. So far, nothing's caught my attention.
Wasn't Walton 70s? I feel like it was.
Well, I think what you got to do is reruns. You know, because remember, not every country had TV in the 70s. Like we didn't have.
We had it in 76. We had Vili Vali.
So if stuff was starting in like 70s, they were definitely rerunning that shit for years. Okay, now I start getting interested. A Gremlins playset.
Oh. Right. My pictures are still loading. My internet's very slow today, so I'm not even seeing the pictures. I'm seeing the things. I can see it says Gremlins, but the picture hasn't loaded.
Okay, so that's my first one. It's the house. It's the house that they live in. Gremlins 1.
Johnny 5.
There is a Johnny 5. Now you get like the more complicated Legos, and this is a more complicated Legos Johnny 5. He's alive in Lego format.
Yeah.
Johnny 5's an option. There's a Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's 2 Who Framed Roger Rabbits play sets. The one is better than the other, but good theme. There's 2 Karate Kid play sets at the All Valley tournament. Goonies. They got a Goonies submission. Flash Gordon. Or you can check out all these photos. That 80 show essay. Big. There's 2 big submissions. The piano scene. You know the piano in Big?
Floor piano, yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 of those. There's 2 submissions. Dori, just for you. Studio Ghibli, My Neighbor Totoro. A Princess Bride Lego playset. We're going to vote for that.
Of course.
I've never seen it.
And never will.
Another Labyrinth. The Blue Brothers. The car from the Blues Brothers. Good
cool.
one. Care Bears comes up quite a lot. There's a couple of Care Bears submissions. Another Princess Bride. An A-Team van.
Crystal.
Yeah.
The A-Team van. That'll be good.
Dori, there's 2. I'm going to
Golden Girls playset.
That's what I'm saying. A Golden Girls playset, their apartment.
Oh, come on.
With all the little Golden Girls as minifigures.
That's the winner for me. That is it.
I just want you to scroll to one and look at exactly the one directly beneath it. I think this one's wins.
Jane Fonda's 80s workout.
Complete with leg warmers, headbands, pink weights, and little men in spandexes.
Oh my God.
I think the one man seems to be wearing underpants. As much as I want to vote for Golden Girls, I think a Who's the Boss playset may have swung me, but I think Jane Fonda is definitely in for the win if we're looking for new IP.
I see Quantum Leap is there.
Yes, it's a thing. The Ziggy, the
hologram,
the hologram thing. Yeah, that's very niche though. I got to be honest. Even I.
Well, I am nothing if not niche, Paulo.
It's not well done because, you know, to be honest, it looks like something that your kid would make and they'd go, oh, look what I did. I was going, but like, no. Because
one day I'll see these things. One day.
I mean.
Garfield's breakfast in bed sounds cute. but again, I can't see it.
What I got to say about these people and their submissions is that there are people who have like obviously done some 3D rendering sort of stuff that it looks like legitimately like it's ready to order.
I imagine so, because they wouldn't have actually built the thing, right?
There's some that you can see people have built it. Like there's two Karate Kids. The two Karate Kids submissions are based on the same scene. The one looks like something you've built out of your own Legos. The other one is very intricate and looks like this is a 3D, some sort of rendering, because there's a lot of detail of stuff and that. So that's what there's even the one playset has got a little thing so that Ralph Macchio, Danny LaRusso, can do his little kick. You put him on a little stand and it looks like he's doing his little kick. That's detail. That's the detail you want when you're doing Legos.
Okay, so what are you submitting?
Who's the boss?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not there yet.
That's not there.
What from Who's the Boss? What are you submitting? Like the house?
So it's going to be the house playset. Okay, so I want Tony Danza. He's going to have a little baseball bat and a vacuum.
Okay.
We're going to have Mona. They're all going to be there.
Right, the family.
The whole family. You can just recreate scenes.
You're going to spend the most time on Alyssa Milano.
No, that's disgusting. You'll be doing like Tony and Angela, will they, won't they? Then like she'll have like a little like robe and towel on her head.
Actually do the scene where he walks in on her in the bathroom where she's naked. That's the scene you should do.
Which I think happened in friggin' every single episode, because I'm telling you that happened more than once. I think it was a constant.
It's the only part of the show I remember, that and Mona with her shirt on backwards.
Yeah, I mean, that happened a lot. Although I'm starting to get swung by Miami Vice.
Come on.
You
could do the Ferrari or the Lambo, whichever one you prefer.
Why not do both? It's our dream. A Wham playset. The Club Tropicana. Pike Island playset.
Oh my God.
You know, the mind boggles. You could have Tony Pike with his little neckerchief.
I would do Breakfast Club.
Good, great.
The scene in the detention hall.
Very good.
Them all sitting at their tables with their things.
RoboCop Legos.
Yeah.
You know, you could like even the little Alex, what is his surname? Alex Murphy. You could even shoot him and like shoot his arm off and destroy him. Like he comes apart like that. And then you build him back together with the same pieces, but now as a RoboCop.
And then you get a little thing of acid to melt.
Yes.
Okay, we're getting out of hand.
I think his name is Clarence Whitaker. Melt his face. Dori, I think we're on a roll here.
Rocky, you do the steps.
Rocky's good. Yes, you could build the whole like Philadelphia town hall. You could.
Yeah.
Rocky's good. I think we're on to Rocky. Culture Club. Could we have a Culture Club playset?
Isn't it supposed to be a movie or a TV series though? Not a band.
Well, I mean, does it really specify?
I think it did.
Because a lot of them are TV shows. I suppose it's easier to get an IP and license a TV show than a person.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You win on that one. So no Wham playset. Is this what you're telling me?
Well, we can make one for ourselves.
Okay. Maybe our movie recommendations, we got to do them within the lens of. Also, I didn't mention that there's an ALF playset, but it's the range of Legos called brickheads, right? So you build these things out of Lego. They're very blocky. I mean, it's great to build, but they're not very satisfactory looking once you've done them.
I know what you mean.
I've got like a Mandalorian and Grogu one. It's like, it is them, but them like Legos, you know?
Yeah.
So Alf, but let's do something, right? When we do our movie recommendations, should we do it through the lens of, would they make a great Lego playset? That's maybe what ranks how good our movies are.
Well, I was thinking of mine in this context. Okay. I'm not sure mine would work.
Okay.
But let's see.
Mine may.
Okay.
Dori's multimedia moments. Do we have a movie?
No, I have an amazing movie. I know the last 2 weeks I've really phoned it in. So like when I do that, I feel guilty and then I like have to make up for it. So, Paulo, we have spoken about this movie so often. We refer to it often. I have even said to you, I don't remember it. I need to rewatch it. It's just come up. You might even have done it as a movie recommendation, although it wasn't on our very incomplete list. So you may or may not have done it.
All right.
But I made the effort to rewatch this movie with my teenager the other night, I was absolutely expecting to hate it. I was honestly expecting to be on the show saying, oh, no. Boy, was I wrong. It stars Corey Haim, Corey Feldman, Jason Patrick, Kiefer Sutherland, Jamie Gertz. Mm-hmm. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Paul, I finally rewatched The Lost Boys.
Yes.
I freaking loved it. And you know what? I don't remember loving it in the 80s. I remember I saw it at like a kid's birthday party on VHS. I didn't see it on the big screen when it came out. Watched it probably a year later at a party. I was like, it was okay in the 80s. I don't know. That's why I was expecting not to enjoy it, because I didn't love it back then.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so good. And also, can we just say, how have I never noticed how hot Jason Patrick was? Like, he looks like almost like Rob Lowe in this movie. He's got an incredible mullet. Like, beautiful mullet. Jason
Patrick's always been one of the guys, because, I mean, he's...
No, he like, I mean, I kind of, when I think Jason Patrick, I probably think of him in his 90s roles where his hair's all short. He didn't become like a huge star afterwards. Lost Boys was definitely his biggest thing that he ever did.
He was in X-Men, one of the X-Men.
You see, I don't really watch those. But yeah, he was in Sleepers, which is an amazing movie. That was a 90s movie. There was one, Speed 2. He was in Speed 2.
Yeah.
I just never really noticed. But I didn't, in my mind, remember what he looked like in The Lost Boys, because I, wasn't thinking about it. And my teenager said the funniest thing, I actually had to write it down, because I was like, we're watching it, and I'm like, oh my God, Jason Patrick is so hot in this movie. He literally looks a little bit like Rob Lowe with the longer hair,
yeah, I can see it.
The sultry eyes, the whole thing. And Arlo says to me, he's so beautiful. He looks like George Michael, but not British.
Sometimes it's the Britishness of George Michael that kind of goes, he's looking a bit too British today.
I thought it was so funny. It was just, but yeah, so like, okay, let's start though with the hideous shirts that Corey Haim wore throughout this movie.
Well, before you get into that, the Lost Boys, let's just talk about what it is, because we reached saturation point, I think, with vampire movies, right? Recently.
Yeah, but this was like the actual, and I've been reading about it, this was the movie that changed them into what they are today, as in this sexy teenage thing.
Exactly, because vampires were always, for a very long time, Dracula, right? And these weird, creepy men that lived in castles or whatever. Lost Boys was kind of one of the first movies that took on the thought of going, well, hold on a second. You've got people who have lived a very long time.
Yeah. Super
strong, age very slowly, probably very rich because of compound interest since the 1500s,
Yeah.
Wear leather clothes. Imagine if vampires embraced the 80s. And that kind of set up like cool vampires, which then carried on until today. So I think we're due for shit vampires, evil monster vampires again, if cycles follow cycles.
Wow. So The Lost Boys was based on a book.
Yes.
And in the book, the characters were younger. Like, for example, the Frog Brothers, the vampire killers in The Lost Boys, played by Corey Feldman and some other dude who never did anything. He did do some things, but who knows? They were like 8 and 9 years old in the book. And when the scriptwriter came in for the movie, they were like, no, let's make this an older thing. Let's make this a teenage thing. Also, Star, played by Jamie Gertz in the movie, was a boy in the book. There was no sexy, longing looks. There were so many scenes in the movie where they like just have these intense looks, and it's angst and it's lust and it's all these things. And I'm watching it and I'm going, oh my God, it's captured the feeling of the 80s, that intensity. And my kid even looked at me and went, It's so intense. I wish I'd been there. And I was like, exactly. That was the 80s. It was intense.
Why was it,
It
so?
was
Why was
running
it so
in the
intense?
rain and crying. It was all those things.
Why was it so intense?
I don't know, but I miss it. Okay. I miss it. Anyway. Look, I mean, the plot is whatever. The plot is vampires, and I've never been a fan of vampires. That's also why I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, because vampires, I can take them or leave them. I never watched Buffy. I'm not that person. I read the Twilight books, but I certainly didn't, go gaga. Watch the Twilight movies, whatever. Please, can we talk about Corey Haim's clothes in this movie, because they are so ugly. But the most 80s, but ugly 80s clothes. I don't know where the hell they found them. And for some reason, it's just him. Everyone else dresses perfectly fine. But Corey Haim is wearing the ugliest shirt. At one point, he's wearing a bathrobe that, let me again quote my teenager as we're watching the movie. And when the bathrobe comes on screen, these were the words of my teenager. A fashion show for people who don't have eyes, because they're the only ones who would enjoy it.
I'm looking at some of these images and it's probably right.
Honestly. They were the worst clothes. But only he was wearing. I don't know why. He was obviously cast as this complete weirdo who had to look more 80s than anyone else.
So this is the movie where Corey Feldman, a lot of times when you think of him in your mind's eye, and even if you Google him now, I'm pretty guaranteed the first image you're going to get is him from this movie where he's got that red bandana.
Exactly. He looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Rambo.
Yeah, I guess. Here's some stuff I learned when I went down the rabbit hole. There are 2 sequels to The Lost Boys.
Yeah,
they went straight to DVD.
Not surprised.
One is called Lost Boys: The Tribe, and one is called and the third one is called Lost Boys: The Thirst, which was filmed in South Africa.
Oh,
so I am so gonna watch these.
Did it star Billy Zane? Because
it star Billy Zane. It starred Casey B. Dolan, who's a South African actress.
Yeah, right.
Yes. And it says here, a 4th film was discussed, but with the dissolution of Warner Premiere, the projects evaporated. However, in September 2021, a new film was announced. So they are potentially working on the 4th film. Well, a new film. It's not necessarily a sequel. It just says a new film was announced.
Oh, rebooting the property.
Maybe it's going to be a prequel. Maybe it's just going to, they're absolutely bringing it back.
Yeah.
I don't expect any of these sequels to be worth watching, but I'm going to, because first of all, Corey Feldman is in both of the sequels.
Correct.
He is the main star. And he was the teenager's favorite character in the movie.
He
was amazing.
Can I tell you what astounds me, right? So in the 80s, the 2 Coreys, Corey Haim was the more popular one, which
Corey Feldman was my love.
It's weird.
My love.
Because Corey Feldman, like, he ticks all the boxes. Got the floppy hair, smoldering. Yeah.
Whereas Corey Haim's kind of got that like cute, almost munchkin kind of look. Rest in peace, Corey Haim.
Yeah.
Very sad. But Jason Patrick, we're going to go back to Jason Patrick. He was just, he was always dressed well in like leather and jeans. He looked good.
And Kiefer Sutherland, he's the main vampire, right? He's the one terrorizing and the one they need to kill.
He is the main one that you see mostly throughout the movie. And it's quite funny. One of the articles said he has actually the least amount of dialogue. He hardly speaks, but he has such presence that when you think Lost Boys, what comes to your mind?
Yeah, exactly. Him with his Billy Idol peroxided hair.
Absolutely. And it's so funny. As I was watching the movie, it was coming back to me. Like scenes would come on. I was like, oh my God, I remember the scene. I know exactly what's going to happen. So it came back in as I was watching it. And I was just so thoroughly and pleasantly surprised. Lots of
80s violence.
Yeah, I mean, it's a vampire movie, so not out of control violence. No, probably a normal amount for a vampire movie.
Kiefer
there was
Sutherland.
a scene where they bite a guy's head, which was a bit gross. But now,
Kiefer Sutherland's when he turns into a vampire, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I've just found something, because obviously his hair, he's got this, we spoke earlier, the peroxided brush cut with the mullets.
Yeah. The mullets in this movie are incredible.
You can buy that on eBay.
Incredible.
His wig that he wore in Lost Boys was for sale on eBay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, his cronies, like his crew, his vampire crew, their mullets. The one has just got like ridiculously long curly hair with literally nothing on top. So proper.
Wow.
I'm just thinking, you could make the vampire set Lego set. You could do it.
Okay, and it would be a good one.
It
Great.
actually would be.
Lost Boys, great submission.
Like the Lost Boys vampire set Lego, absolutely. And what you could do is you could have like two different heads. So you have the non-vampire version, and then the one that's got the red eyes and the teeth were in the wrong place. The teenager pointed it out to me. We're watching, and they're like, "No, look, the teeth are in the wrong place because usually
You're
vampire
right.
teeth,
I'm looking at it.
yeah, they're too close to the middle.
Yes.
They're in the wrong place.
You got 4 teeth before your incisors.
Exactly.
The vampire teeth are showing right after your...
Right after your 2 front teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was something funny that we noticed. But Paolo, let's talk about the soundtrack.
Oh, I can imagine how goth, how emo.
Well, I mean, it was actually quite rock, the soundtrack, quite a lot of rock. People Are Strange, a version by Echo and the Bunnymen. Nice. So the cover of the Doors song is featured a couple of times in the movie. Fits perfectly. It's not a lot of rock. There's Lou Gramm from Foreigner. There's Roger Daltrey. There's a song by INXS. But the main song, the theme song of the movie, is by somebody called Gerard McMahon, and the song is called Cry Little Sister. Mm-hmm. It's the one, when you hear it, you'll know, oh God, yes, that's the Lost Boys song. It's kind of choral, almost a bit gothy. It's really an amazing song. So I go, who is Gerard McMahon? And I Google him. And Paolo, wow, is what I'm going to say. I'm going to send you the link to his website so you can check it out in your own time. But he now calls himself G. Tom Mac.
I'm in. I buy in. I buy in. I don't need to know more. Put it straight into my veins. Straight.
He's done some random songs. He did a song for the 1997 Batman and Robin movie called You're So Batman.
I'm in. I told you. I didn't. Before that, I'm even in. G. Tom Mac, I want more.
G. Tom Mac. No, his other stuff's not good. I'm just warning you, it's not good.
I don't care. Where have good and my taste ever come into?
And if you go to his website, the first thing you see is the Lost Boys. Like, he's capitalizing on this one big hit that he had.
Good for him.
And good for him. Absolutely, I agree. All I can say is, geez, watch it again, because holy moly, it's still so damn good.
You know, Dori, even like you say on his website, even the font he uses is very Lost Boys. He's in. Good for him. Well done, G. Tom Mac. So good Lego set. Lost Boys, yes. Fantastic Lego set.
Yeah.
Any particular scene that would make the Lego set?
I mean, the scene where maybe they're hanging upside down by their disgusting toes in the cave, and then Corey Feldman like stakes one through the heart.
Oh, that's good.
That was not bad.
You could, like Legos, you could stick them upside down.
Yeah, good. Exactly.
Now we're thinking.
I think the cave would make an amazing, set.
Right. So there's our submission.
Yeah.
All right. Well done to us. Now, what I want to say next is that it surprises me that Lost Boys, we haven't done. It really, really does.
I don't think we've done it, but we've referred to it and it comes up on the show regularly, but I don't think we've done it as a movie recommendation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go to the same realm because I was very surprised we hadn't done, not only hadn't we done this movie, we had never done a movie by this actress who was one of the, like, Mount Rushmore. I wouldn't say Mount Rushmore, like Mad Magazine. Sometimes they'd like do like a double page of like a whole bunch of people from the 80s. This person would always be in there. She was such a iconic figure of the 80s. So we've never done a movie by her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't even think we've ever done a story by her. Okay. And I go, I don't know why. Maybe it's because of her current day iteration, but she has never come. I don't know why. So anyway, movie named after a Rolling Stones song. which is key to the plot. So we have our actress.
Okay.
She plays this very quirky computer programmer, right? Back when computers were like a little bit mysterious.
I know exactly what you're doing, and I honestly think we have done this movie.
We have never done this movie.
Have we never done it?
We have never done this movie.
Okay, well, we've spoken about it.
We have never done the movie Jumping Jack Flash.
One of the funniest movies ever.
Never done Jumping Jack Flash.
That's crazy.
I went back and checked.
And our list is incomplete.
No, but we've never done Jumping Jack Flash. You know how I know we've never done Jumping Jack Flash? Because we will usually post a trailer from the movies we've done.
Yeah.
And when you go through YouTube, it doesn't show that I've watched it.
Okay, fair enough.
So even if we've got new listeners joining all the time. We'd like them to go all the way back to episode number 1 and listen through, but we understand it's realistic. You're going to pick up where you are. So the movie's Jumping Jack Flash, starring Whoopi Goldberg, who we've never done a Whoopi Goldberg movie, Dori.
Have we never?
Never done a Whoopi Goldberg. Never done The Color Purple. Now I want to do a couple of Whoopi Goldberg movies in the coming weeks.
There was one other comedy that came. Yeah, okay. So you're probably going to do the other one that came out around the time of Jumping Jack Flash.
Yes.
Which I cannot think of the name of it right now.
I'm looking at it right now, so don't name them.
I won't name it, but I will look it up for myself because it's going to bug me. But I remember seeing both of those on the big screen at around the time when they came out. But Jumping Jack Flash, I've never laughed so much in my life. It was so funny.
It was hilarious. Whoopi Goldberg is phenomenal in it. She plays this quirky computer programmer with the most outrageously 80s clothes that so many of her clothes, I'm like, that outfit is totally back in fashion. Like when you see like really cool kids walking around Rosebank, they dress like Whoopi Goldberg dressed in Jumping Jack Flash, okay? She's got these Reeboks in all colors. She's got orange, red, yellow.
I remember the Reeboks.
Remember those?
I remember that, yes.
Fantastic dress sense. She's such an outrageous, really eccentric computer programmer. When computers were just like they were things. What I loved about computers in the 80s is the amount of shit they could do. Whatever the plot needed a computer to do, it could do. Because people didn't know otherwise. Like, oh no, I need my computer to do such a thing. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll do it. Now you got to think a little bit harder because we kind of know what things will do. They're like, no, what do you need a computer to do? Make a man. Oh, cool. That'll make a man. Fine, done. That's what the computer does now. So she works in a bank. The bank has some sort of like early day intranet, and somebody starts chatting to her through like some chat. Turns out that he's a secret agent. People are after him, and she needs to decode a message so that they can go into a secret chat. And the message is related to a song. And there's a scene in her apartment where she now has to decode the song, which is so super 80s. But the main thing is she's got a box of cassette tapes.
Yes.
And she's going through all of them, playing all these different songs to try to figure out what song it could be. And just like seeing that box of cassette tapes, it bothered me. It's very untidy. It's like you got to stack them. They were you could stack them together.
Right.
Very untidy. Anyway, she's now her tape recorder and she's skipping. I mean, it's phenomenal. Like just with her cassette player. It's like just.
So, I mean, the other thing is this was way ahead of its time technologically speaking.
Exactly.
You know, like we didn't know about these intranet things.
No. I mean, there were so many clever little things like that. You know, in the scene and where she's like now going looking for the specific part of the song, the little counter, remember the little counter on your tape cassette? Like, so many things like that, like keep popping up, and now she's trying to figure it out. And in between, she's dancing to different songs and just being this like absolute like whirlwind that Whoopi Goldberg was.
As well?
She's drinking. She's in her pajamas. She's just got this outrageous outfit on, just really by herself. Okay, just being Whoopi Goldberg, being outrageous.
Yeah.
And she says something, okay, a phrase that I heard for the first time. I was probably 8 or 9 when I watched this movie and heard it. I was like, I've never heard that before. I've heard a lot of things from the mouth of cousin Louie. I have never heard this. It is so natural. I love it. Why have I never heard it? So she's listening to Jumping Jack Flash because that's the song. A note in the song will now unlock the secret chat so she can help the spy. And she's listening to the lyrics, and the lyric goes, I was raised by 2 lesbians. That's the lyric in the song. I was raised by two lesbians, and she says, come on, Mick, fuck a duck. I was like, what? Fuck a duck. I mean, it's right there. It's in your face.
Yeah.
What a swear. It's the first time I heard that swear. The first time I heard it, it was like a life-changing moment for me. Because swearing could be both effective and poetic. And I think that's the lesson I took from Jumping Jack Flash as a young me. So she then gets involved with, then there's a lot of spy nonsense. There's Russians involved. And they just, go, every time they kind of hit a point where they can't move the plot forward, they just go, well, Russians, they're evil. And everyone goes, oh yeah, Russians, definitely evil. Whoopi Goldberg swearing in this movie is outrageous. It's phenomenal. I still even vaguely remember controversy around Whoopi Goldberg at the time about her being so foul-mouthed.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's also why it was so successful, actually. Like it had a bit of scandal to it.
I haven't found it yet, but I'm sure it's there. There is no way that apartheid South Africa government allowed this movie to flight in its entirety here with a woman of color speaking to white policemen the way she spoke to them, because that did not fit the discourse. There's no way South Africa showed that movie.
So we would have had the very censored version.
At least until Mnet came around. But because I cannot believe the way she's just disrespectful and like how powerful she actually is. And just how abrasive she is went down well with the censors here. So that'll be an interesting thing to kind of look into. But Jumping Jack Flash, that is my movie recommendation of the week.
We have knocked it out of the park this week with our movies.
I want to tell you about some of the other actors in this movie, okay?
Yes, tell me.
One of her colleagues, her colleague is Marty Phillips, played by Stephen Collins, Seventh Heaven Dad. Right?
Oh, cancelled guy.
Oh, he's cancelled, yes.
Tales of the Gold Monkey, yeah.
Carol Kane, she's in it. Annie Potts.
Love them both.
Peter Michael Gotts is in it.
Who's that?
You know him when you see him. He's always plays old guy. John Lovitz is in it. Jonathan Pryce is in it. So Phil Hartman is in it. So really great cast as well. Very strong. Great cast, great movie, great soundtrack.
Michael McKean's in it. Michael McKean. I'm watching Better Call Saul, so Michael McKean I know.
Michael McKean's in it.
I know well.
James Belushi's in it.
Sure, hey?
Really phenomenal movie that I can't believe we've never done, and that we've never done any of her movies. So I'm going to rectify that over the next few weeks because she has some great movies.
There was one other one around that time.
I'll do it next week.
I can't think what it's called, but I know what it is, but I can't think what it's called.
I'll do it next week, and then you'll go, that one. So the scene that I would like to make into a Lego set for this is her apartment scene, because her apartment is so outrageously 80s.
Brilliant. I'd
like to make little cassette tapes and the cassette player, and I would like to just add as a little nod a duck. There's no actual...
A little Easter egg.
A little Easter egg. Just have a duck. Yes. And then people go, fuck, a duck. Exactly. Exactly.
Amazing.
Dori, we've been tracking Madonna's tour, her US tour.
Yeah. I mean, not like we're the biggest Madonna fans, but it's been more of a comedy tour than a music tour.
Of course, we had it. She got sued by people because her concert started late, and people were inconvenienced. They had to pay their babysitter for an extra 2 hours. Very inconsiderate. So she got sued by some people. She got dragged to the floor. Well, she fell. She fell off a chair by a man in high heels. He dropped her. Some good news. She was joined by Kylie Minogue. They did a duet.
That was very cool. I have to say I enjoyed that.
Very cool. But she's in trouble again.
Oh no, what did she do now?
So I have the video. I'm not able to play it, but you can find it. I'm going to put a link, that 80 Show SA Facebook page, or you can just go look for it, Madonna. So 65-year-old Madonna. She's now going to do some sort of duetty thing, acoustic thing. There's a guy with a guitar sitting next to her, and she says, all right, everybody, up on your feet. Hey, you down there, sitting down there. What are you doing sitting down, pointing at someone? And she goes, oh, politically incorrect. Sorry about that. I'm glad you're here.
Okay, well, hang on. Was it someone in a wheelchair or was it a little person?
Someone in a wheelchair. She shamed someone in a wheelchair.
I mean, that's probably the better option between that and a little person.
I suppose because it is an easy mistake to make. But, I mean, are people overemphasizing everything because it's Madonna, or is she really just boobing her way across America? It just feels like she's just going state to state on a trail of hate. Madonna. That's her latest tour. Just in the tour, Madonna, you got a few more dates left. Let's just try to get through controversy free. Okay, just sing.
This might be the last tour, let's be honest.
Yeah, after the way she just totally has abused her fans, I think people may not say, I'll go watch Taylor Swift. Thank you very much. She's a lot.
Oh God, I wouldn't. I'd rather watch Madonna.
I'd rather be abused by Madonna, honestly. So for the past few weeks, we're going to close up on that 80s show. We found a lovely quiz from the website Past Factory called Guess the 80s Song by the First Line. Now, Dori, stay with me. I'm going to tell you an 80s song, and you have to guess the song by the first line. Okay, listeners, play along. I know it's complicated. You need to guess an 80s song by the first line. Got it? With me. Okay.
Got it.
Close your eyes. Give me your hand, darling. Right?
So easy.
It's by the Bangles. Manic Monday. Walk Like an Egyptian. Eternal Flame, or Hazy Shade of Winter.
Eternal Flame.
Eternal Flame. If you got that, you are correct. She's got a smile that it seems to me.
That would be Axel and his friends.
Guns N' Roses. So is it Patience?
Sweet Child of Mine.
It is Sweet Child of Mine. See, Dori just flies in. She doesn't even need the clues.
Sorry. I mean, yeah.
We'll give the...
What were the options? Patience, Sweet Child of Mine. What were the other two options?
I moved on. I think I think I saw Paradise City in there.
Maybe November Rain.
Probably. Right.
Yeah.
The next one. The 4 songs you could choose from are Why Me, Out Here on My Own, Fame, or Flashdance, What a Feeling.
Okay, so that's Irene Cara.
Irene Cara. The opening line is, first when there's nothing but a slow glowing dream. Okay, I'm going to give you 50-50, Dori.
Yeah.
Flashdance, What a Feeling, or Fame, the 2 biggest songs.
Flashdance, What a Feeling.
First, when there's nothing but a slow glowing dream, we get yet another one correct, Dori. We haven't got any wrong. We haven't got any wrong in this quiz.
Let's be honest, the quiz is easy.
It is very easy. One artist, plus they give you the photo. Like, it's okay, I'm already there. But anyway, Past Factory, they want winners. They want you to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Phil Collins, a Phil Collins song, How Can I Just Let You Walk Away?
Oh.
Either Easy
Against all
Lover.
odds.
It is Against All Odds. Dori, she just can't wait.
Waited. I thought you wanted odds.
She just can't wait. The options were Easy
I
Lover.
did it as a movie.
You did.
I did it as one of my movies. It was a very good movie.
Easy Lover, Do You Remember? In the Air Tonight, Against All Odds. And the song lyric was, How Can I Just Let You Walk Away? And it was Against All Odds. Okay, let's go full 5 for 5. Oh, my word. My word. You want to talk about easy?
Too easy?
I can't even do this one, seriously. We're not going to even count this one.
Well, then you can guess it. You guess it.
Well, I got the answer.
You give us the answer.
Well, I mean, it's a Wham song. Okay.
Okay, what's the lyric?
Lovely. George Michael.
What are the 4 options first?
I got to tell you, in this photo, Andrew Ridgely, it's when he's wearing that kind of tartan suit.
Yes.
And George Michael is wearing like a crepe shirt.
Yes, I know exactly which one.
You know which one. You know exactly which one.
I do.
The song options are Everything She Wants, Careless Whisper, Last Christmas, or Wake Me Up Before You Go Go. And the lyric is, we need to guess the 80s song by the first line. You put the boom boom into my heart. Now this one's for the points. A bit trickier. Not too much. Not too much. Bonnie Tyler.
Okay.
Options are If You Are a Woman, Holding Out for a Hero, Loving You's a Dirty Job, and Total Eclipse of the Heart. Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit lonely.
This is ridiculously easy. Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Come on, challenge us.
I know. Right now we haven't even completed half of this, and we're currently on 100%.
Yeah.
The next one looks a little bit tough.
I'm actually curious to see if something will trip us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the next one, which we'll reveal next week.
And you don't know it? You know who the band is?
Interesting. I don't recognize the band per se.
Do you recognize any of the song titles?
I do recognize the song titles. But that is next week's a reason to listen to that 80 show. A reason,
keep us on our toes.
A reason to subscribe to that 80 show. A reason to follow us on that 80 show SA on Facebook. Dori, you must be very hot. I have not heard your fan, your little hand fan.
I'm literally melting.
Oh, don't melt away, Dori. Stay where you are. This has been That 80 Show. Everything, as we said, can be found That 80 Show SA on Facebook. So whether you want to look at the most 80s man ever, if you've missed a photo already, look at the art installation, a video store. Who knew? Who knew that the local neighborhood video store would be an art installation? Lego ideas. To be honest, Dori, I think our Lego playsets are better. The Lost Boys cave scene.
The guys are the best.
Jumping Jack Flash apartment scene.
That Golden Girls one is proper.
Should we enter? Let's enter.
I think we should. I really think we should.
Let's enter, and of course,
I'll get my husband to help us do the 3D rendering.
Yes, good stuff. Let's enter.
Yeah, he loves Lost Boys as well, so he'll enjoy that. He'll enjoy doing that.
Love it. I love your idea of the flipping heads. Genius.
Yeah,
because you can sell the same set twice. See, marketing. Make it a collector's edition. Mm-hmm. And Madonna, please just be nice to people. Don't assume.
Just stop. I think we would just say, stop, Madonna. Just stop.
She won't listen to us. She grew a tree out of her vagina when she was a computer. She doesn't care. Oh, thanks for joining me, Dori.
Bye.
Fan on, goodbye.